You ever notice how some people expose exactly who they are? Not through their grand gestures, but through the smallest, most careless words that slip past their tongue? Yeah, one phrase, one tone, one subtle word choice, and suddenly, it's like watching their entire character step out of the shadows, unmasked and unfiltered. You see, people rarely realize how transparent they become when they speak. Their words are tiny windows into the architecture of their mind. You can see their insecurities, their ego, their envy, all tucked between the syllables they don't think matter. They'll tell you they're humble, loyal, or honest. But listen closely. Their vocabulary betrays them. Because words, when left unguarded, are the truest lie detectors on earth. They expose what the heart tries to hide. That's the beauty of language. It's an X-ray for the soul. You just have to learn how to read it. And that's exactly what we're doing today. Today, I'm breaking down the words that reveal who someone truly is, the hidden signs buried in conversation that tell you more about a person's soul than their entire biography ever could. By the time we're done, you'll never hear people the same way again. You'll start catching red flags mid-sentence. You'll recognize when someone's compliment isn't admiration, it's envy in disguise. You'll see through false humility, like glass. And you'll begin to understand that most people aren't lying with intent. They're simply revealing themselves without realizing it. That's the quiet power of awareness. When you start to listen differently, you start to see differently. Because every word a person speaks is a reflection of their inner temperature, the tone of their thoughts, the shape of their fears, the depth of their honesty. And when you train yourself to hear beyond the noise, you'll begin to live with a kind of calm confidence most people can't even comprehend. You won't react, you'll read. You won't argue, you'll understand. And that understanding will protect you more than any wall or defense ever could. But before we dive deep into that, before we decode the hidden language of character, I want to share something with you. If you love exploring the psychology of human nature, if you're drawn to stoicism, mental discipline, and the art of mastering your emotions in a world addicted to chaos, then you'll love my free weekly newsletter. Every Sunday, I send out something that feeds the soul, deep, unfiltered reflections about self-improvement, emotional mastery, and the uncomfortable truths most people are too afraid to say out loud. It's not motivation, it's revelation. It's where philosophy meets raw experience, where self-awareness becomes a weapon, not just a virtue. So if you're ready to think differently, see deeper, and build a mindset that nothing and no one can shake, check it out. It's completely free, because wisdom should never be behind a paywall. Now let's get back to what really matters, the words that reveal who someone truly is. Let's build something impactful together. Now, let's expose some characters, shall we? 1. Honestly. Have you ever noticed how people who start almost every sentence with honestly are usually about to lie? Or at least say something they've been rehearsing in their head for a week. Honestly, I don't even care. Honestly, I'm over it. Honestly, I'm fine. No, you're not fine. You do care. That one tiny word, honestly, isn't a sign of sincerity. It's a warning sign. It's a verbal crutch for the insecure, a tool people use to sell the truth when even they don't believe it themselves. Real honesty doesn't need a preface. When you're genuinely speaking your truth, you don't announce it, you live it. But people who lean on honestly too much, they're either afraid of being judged, afraid to offend, or constantly performing for approval. I'll be real with you, I used to be that guy. Early 20s, me was the king of honestly. Honestly, I like where my life's at. Honestly, I'm totally over my ex. Honestly, I don't care what people think. Every honestly was a mask. I cared too much what people thought. I wasn't over her. My life was a mess I was pretending to control. But saying honestly, that made me sound grounded. Easier than actually being grounded. We live in a world where words are makeup. Honestly is concealer for insecurity. Literally is contour for exaggeration. No offense is blush people use before they slap you with disrespect. Honestly is how we hide fear behind a declaration of truth. Because when we fear judgment, we overcompensate. We announce honesty as if that will make us believable. But here's the plot twist. If you have to announce your honesty, you probably haven't earned anyone's trust. Now, before you roll your eyes thinking, it's just a word, hear me out. I'm not talking about casual conversation. I'm talking emotional tells. When someone says, honestly, you're like family to me, watch their actions. If it's real, it will be obvious. But if their honestly feels like a sales pitch, it probably is. I had a friend who began every serious talk with honestly. Honestly, bro, you're my best friend. Honestly, you can trust me. And when life got hard, he disappeared. Not maliciously. He just couldn't live up to the image he wanted me to believe. Words are cheap. Patterns are expensive. Honestly doesn't make someone trustworthy. Consistency does. Real people don't preface truth. They embody it. When they speak, it lands. You feel it. It's not rehearsed. Here's the deeper truth, especially for men. Most of us struggle with honesty not because we want to deceive, but because we fear how our truth will make us look. We say, honestly, before vulnerability, like it's armor. Honestly, I'm struggling. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, I miss her. Real honesty is courage. It's risking rejection. And men are taught to fear that. To be stoic, composed, emotionally bulletproof. So when we finally open up, we feel the need to announce it, like asking permission to be human. But real strength? Real strength is quietly owning your truth, not performing it, saying, I'm not okay, and not caring if it makes you look weak. So, how do you apply this? Simple. Catch yourself every time you say honestly. Pause. Ask, why do I feel the need to justify this? If you're saying it to sound convincing, chances are you're hiding from others or worse, from yourself. Instead of honestly, just be honest. Hurt, say it hurts. Confused, admit it. Scared, own it. Respect is born from truth, not performance. People feel realness. They don't need it spelled out. Tone, eyes, pauses. These speak louder than words. Here's what I've learned. When you stop using honestly as a crutch, conversations become raw, uncomfortable, meaningful. You lose the need to prove and gain the power to express. You stop performing. You start saying, I've been better, but I'm figuring it out. That's where connection begins. Honesty isn't perfection, it's presence. And when you live like that, people trust you. Not because you say honestly enough, but because they see it. Here's my challenge to you this week. Notice every honestly you say. Instead of selling truth, be truthful. If it makes people uncomfortable, good. Truth is meant to shake fake foundations. And if you meet someone who says honestly before every thought, don't judge. Listen. Sometimes they're not lying, they're just convincing themselves. But when you finally stop saying honestly and start living it, that's when you meet your real self. No filters, no fear, just truth. And that's the kind of honesty the world desperately needs. 2. Always. Always. It sounds harmless, even sincere. I'll always be there for you. You always do this. I always get treated like this. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Always is a liar dressed in loyalty. One of the most emotionally manipulative words in the English language, not because people use it to deceive you, but because they use it to deceive themselves. It's dramatic, absolute. It makes fleeting feelings sound eternal. But life isn't absolute, and people aren't consistent. When someone throws around always, chances are they've stopped thinking critically and started reacting emotionally. Think about it. When someone says, you always do this, what they really mean is, I'm hurt right now. And instead of addressing the moment, they dig up every emotional fossil they can find to justify their frustration. I'll always love you feels comforting until they don't. Then you realize it wasn't a promise. It was an exaggeration born in the heat of emotion. Always is what people say when they want to sound deep without being disciplined. Emotional fast food. Satisfying in the moment, empty afterward. Let me be real. I once believed people who said always. A girl told me, I'll always choose you. I believed it. I built peace around that sentence. But always lasted 6 months. At first, I was angry,
betrayed.
Then I realized she wasn't lying. She meant it in the moment. That's the problem with always. It ignores human change, evolving emotions, shifting priorities. Love sometimes has an expiration date. Saying always is trying to freeze time, promising forever with a temporary mindset. Now, flip it. You know those people who drop always into every argument? You always make me feel small. You always forget. You always think you're right. That's not reality. They're negotiating resentment. Always becomes a weapon. Once you label someone with an always, you stop giving them room to grow. You trap them in your narrative and win the emotional argument.
Toxic, right?
People change, but always addicts don't want growth. They want control. Here's the raw truth from a man's perspective. Hearing always feels like being cornered. We can do 9 things right, make 1 mistake, and suddenly, you always forget. You always mess this up. It's not correction, it's condemnation. And when you're trying to grow, nothing kills motivation faster than someone convincing you your past is your pattern, permanently. That's why men shut down in arguments, not from apathy, but from fighting history written in always. And we do it to ourselves too. I always screw things up. I always attract the wrong people. I always fall short. That's poison disguised as accountability. It convinces your brain that patterns are permanent. You stop looking for solutions, start looking for proof you're doomed, and then, surprise, life delivers exactly that. Here's the Stoic lens. Always destroys peace because it fights reality. Nothing is permanent. Rivers change. Seasons shift. Bodies age. Minds evolve. The only constant is change. Always denies that. And denying reality is suffering. Peace comes from acceptance, not absolutes. So catch absolutes. When someone says always, don't react emotionally. Ask for examples. Turn it into something tangible. When exactly do I do that? Force truth to replace exaggeration. Catch yourself saying always.
Pause.
Ask, is this really true? Or just how I feel right now? Feelings lie, patterns don't. Replace always with often. Small shift, huge impact. You often do this invites conversation. You always do this invites conflict. Don't make forever promises in temporary moods. Love deeply, yes, but promise this. I'll keep choosing you as long as it's healthy. That's maturity. That's respect. Here's my personal rule. I don't take always literally, I take it emotionally. It's not reality. It's intensity. If my partner says, you always make me feel ignored, I don't argue semantics. I listen to the feeling, the pain of not being seen. Fighting words misses the message. The truth is, always is a mirror. It reveals whether someone is emotionally grounded or drowning, whether they seek truth or control. Stop exaggerating. Stop promising forever. Start managing today. Real love doesn't need always. Real growth doesn't need always. They only need effort, today. Always is fantasy. Today, that's reality. And the people who master today don't need forever. 3. Jealous. Let's talk about one of the dirtiest little words in the human vocabulary. Jealous. Nobody likes to admit they feel it. It's like body odor for the soul. Everyone has it, but we all pretend we don't. We call it motivation, comparison, or critique. But let's be real. Most of the time, it's jealousy dressed up in designer clothes. Jealous isn't just a word, it's a confession of insecurity. And how someone handles that word tells you everything about their character. You ever notice how people act when someone close to them starts doing well? You get a new job, they say. Must be nice. You hit the gym and start looking good and suddenly they joke. Bro, you think you're a model now. You share your win and they hit you with a silent sneer or a half-hearted congrats. That's jealousy in its most polite disguise, the supportive hater energy. Here's the truth. Jealousy exposes people faster than failure ever will. When someone else succeeds, their reaction reveals their emotional maturity level. If they can't celebrate you, it's because your success highlights their stagnation. And that's what jealousy really is. A mirror people don't want to look into. It's not about you. It's about what your growth makes them realize about themselves. Now, let's get controversial for a second. Men experience jealousy differently than women, but we rarely talk about it. When women feel jealous, they'll often talk it out, vent, or post a mysterious quote on Instagram. When men feel jealous, we compete. We mask it with jokes, pride, or indifference. A guy sees his friend making more money and says, "Yeah, but he got lucky." Another sees his ex with a new man and says, "She downgraded." We'll do anything to preserve our ego, even if it means lying to ourselves. Because male jealousy isn't loud, it's subtle. It hides under sarcasm, comparison, and that fake, "I'm happy for you" grin that looks more like constipation than support. But here's the crazy part. Jealousy is actually useful if you're honest about it. The moment you admit, "Yeah, I'm jealous," you're taking your power back. Because you can't fix what you won't face. Let me tell you a story. I used to have a close friend, let's call him Mark. We started our careers around the same time. We'd push each other, hype each other up, talk about making it together. But one year, things started going right for me. My projects took off, I was getting recognition, and Mark, well, he wasn't. At first, he acted supportive. Then the small jabs started coming. "Man, you changed. You're lucky. People like your style. Must be nice to have connections." Those words stung, not because they were insults, but because I knew they came from jealousy. And you know what? I didn't even blame him, because I realized I'd been there too. I'd been that guy scrolling through Instagram, seeing someone living the life I wanted, and thinking, why not me? That's jealousy. Not because you hate them, but because you see yourself in them. Their success is a reminder that your excuses aren't valid. Here's the deep truth. Jealousy is just admiration poisoned by insecurity. You envy what you secretly respect, but feel too afraid to pursue. You're not mad that someone succeeded. You're mad that they had the courage to do what you've been procrastinating. And that's why jealousy hurts, because it exposes the gap between who you are and who you could be. But let's go deeper. Jealousy isn't evil, it's data. It's emotional GPS pointing you toward what you truly want. Are you jealous of your friend's body? Maybe it's your body asking you to take better care of it. Are you jealous of someone's confidence? Maybe it's time you built some. Are you jealous of a couple's relationship? Maybe it's not them. Maybe you're lonely and craving connection. The trick isn't to deny jealousy, it's to decode it. When you feel that uncomfortable sting in your chest, don't suppress it. Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Because jealousy is just suppressed inspiration in disguise. Now let's address something touchy. If you want to know who your real friends are, tell them good news, not bad news. When you fail, everyone's empathetic. But when you win, that's when the masks slip. You'll notice who claps genuinely and who claps because they're keeping score. Jealousy doesn't make people bad. It makes them human. But what they do with it determines their character. A weak man lets jealousy turn into gossip, bitterness, or passive-aggressive competition. A strong man uses jealousy as motivation. He channels it into growth. Here's the shift I made. When I feel jealousy now, I see it as proof that I care. It's energy, and energy can either burn you or fuel you. Instead of saying, why him? I ask, what can I learn from him? Instead of scrolling in envy, I scroll in research mode. What are they doing that I'm not? What's their discipline, their mindset, their habits? Suddenly jealousy turns into curiosity, and curiosity breeds improvement. Let's be brutally honest. If you've never felt jealous, you're either lying or you've stopped aiming high enough. Every ambitious man will face envy, both from others and from himself. Because as you evolve, you'll start comparing yourself to your past versions. You'll get jealous of the man you were before comfort got in the way. That's the most dangerous kind of jealousy, self-jealousy. The quiet resentment toward your own potential. And the only cure for that is action. Admit it without shame. Say, I'm jealous, out loud. It disarms the emotion instantly. Study the trigger. Ask, what does this person have that I actually want? Don't hate, analyze. Use it as fuel. Let jealousy push you into progress, not paralysis. If it stings, it's because your soul's waking up. Celebrate others anyway. Even if your smile feels fake at first, keep clapping. That habit trains your mind to appreciate rather than compete. Here's the deep message. Jealousy isn't proof that you're weak. It's proof that you desire more. It's a signal that your vision is bigger than your current situation. So, instead of running from it, respect it. Use it to build instead of belittle. Because real maturity isn't being above jealousy. It's mastering it. Turning that ugly little feeling into something that drives you to become better. And the next time you catch yourself feeling jealous, don't beat yourself up. Smile. You just found out where your ambition lives. For later. Later. One of the most dangerous words in the English language. Not offensive. Not rude. Just quietly lethal. A soft killer. A whispering assassin that destroys dreams, relationships, health, and self-respect while murmuring, "You've got time." Later is the lie we tell ourselves to feel okay about doing nothing. Procrastination disguised as peace of mind. Comfort wearing confidence clothes. We say later when we're scared, when we're not ready to face ourselves, when never sounds too harsh. But let's be honest, later is just no with better marketing. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I'll start working out later. I'll apologize later. I'll chase that dream later. I'll text her back later." And then later turns into never, and never turns into regret. I used to live in the church of later. Every Sunday, I prayed to the God of someday. I'll get serious next week. I'll quit bad habits when life calms down. I'll work on myself when I have time. But life never calms down. Time never frees up. Someday is the most crowded day on the calendar. Everyone's waiting for it. No one ever arrives. Let's get real. Men hide behind later. Emotional camouflage. "We need to talk," she says. Later, we reply. "Let's deal with this problem," a friend says. Later. Time to face our own feelings? Later. Because most men were taught emotion is a liability. Walk it off. Man up. Feel it later. But here's the trap. Later becomes default. One day, you wake up and realize you've postponed your entire life. I remember putting off a hard conversation with my father. Months of silence after a fight that went too deep. Every week, I'll call him later. I'll make peace when things cool down. But later became too late. He passed before I ever made that call. That's the cruel truth about later. It's not guaranteed. You think you're buying time, you're wasting it. You don't realize how precious now is until later is gone. Later seduces because it's comfortable. It lets you keep your pride while dodging pain. It says, "I care, just not enough to act now." And every later chips at your integrity. You're lying to yourself. You're not waiting for the right time. You're waiting for courage. Courage doesn't show up later. It shows up now. Picture this. You wake up, scroll social media, see someone living the life you want, fit, confident, successful. You think, "I'll get there too later." Then you make coffee, go to work, binge Netflix. That other person? Still improving. They moved while you waited. That's the difference between winners and wishes. Winners say now. Wishes say later. Men love later because it tricks us into feeling in control. I'll save money later while buying sneakers. I'll fix my relationship later while scrolling through women you'll never meet. I'll work on myself later while numbing your brain with dopamine. Later is masculine self-sabotage disguised as logic. Here's what life teaches the hard way. Life rewards urgency, not intention. Credit goes to what you start, not what you plan. Every later postpones your transformation. Every now grows you into a stronger, better version of yourself. Here's the Stoic truth. When you say later, what you're really saying is, "I don't value this enough yet." That's fine if you're honest. Say, "I'm not ready." But don't say later and pretend it's commitment. That's emotional procrastination. Masculine energy thrives on decisiveness. Delay weakens the muscle. Action builds strength, confidence, momentum. Here's the practical hack. Replace later with a timestamp. Don't say, "I'll do it later." Say, "I'll do it at 6 p.m. Can't put a time on it? You're lying to yourself. Attack resistance immediately. One push-up, one text, one paragraph. Momentum is born in seconds, not someday. Write down everything you've been saying later to. That's your list of unfulfilled promises.
Pick one.
Destroy the delay. Treat later as a warning. When it leaves your mouth, you're avoiding growth.
Act.
Not tomorrow. Not next week.
Now.
Deep truth. Every man thinks he has time until he doesn't. Dreams, reconciliation, love, growth, they don't wait. One day, later disappears. And then all you want is another now. Stop lying to yourself. If it matters, act today. If it's love, express it. If it's fear, face it. If it's growth, start it. Later is just life's polite way of saying, you're wasting the moment you'll never get back. And the most masculine thing you can do? Stop saying later. Start living now.
5. Try.
One of the most innocent, polite, and socially acceptable words, yet one of the biggest traps in modern language. Try sounds noble. It sounds like effort. It sounds like the middle ground between doing nothing and doing something. But let's be honest, in most cases, try is emotional camouflage for hesitation. You don't say, I'll try because you're committed. You say it because you want to appear committed without the weight of accountability. Try is the verbal participation trophy of adulthood. Here's why it's controversial. We live in a world obsessed with effort over results. Trying has become a personality trait. You tell people, I'm trying to get better, and everyone claps like you just ran a marathon. But that's the problem. Trying doesn't change your life, doing does. You can't try to go to the gym. You either go or you don't. You can't try to be loyal. You either are or you aren't. You can't try to follow your dreams. You either take the risk or you keep dreaming. Every time you say, I'll try, what you're really saying is, I want to, but not enough to sacrifice comfort. Let's get personal. A few years ago, I was in a situation that changed how I view this word forever. I had this close friend, we'll call him James, who was insanely talented, creative, smart, charismatic, the kind of guy you look at and think he's going places. He always had a new project, a business idea, a YouTube channel, a fitness goal. But every time I'd ask, so how's it going? And he'd say, I'm trying, bro. He tried for years, tried to start a business, tried to quit bad habits, tried to become disciplined. 5 years later, he was in the exact same place, maybe even worse, because trying made him feel productive without being productive. He lived in that gray zone between action and avoidance, where he could protect his ego without facing failure. That's what try does. It gives you emotional insurance. If you fail, you can say, hey, at least I tried. It keeps you safe, but small. Let's be real, men use try as a soft exit. We say, I'll try to be better, when we know we won't change. We say, I'll try to make it, when we already decided we're not going. We say, I'll try to quit, when we're not ready to lose the pleasure. It's fake humility. We use try to sound like we care, while quietly planning to stay the same. And society rewards it because trying makes people comfortable. It shows vulnerability without confrontation. But here's the truth. Women don't respect try. Life doesn't reward try. Results don't come from try. They come from decisions, from action, from doing the things scared, unprepared, tired, or doubted. Let me make this painfully clear. Try is the language of people who are scared to commit. It's the word of a man who fears failure more than stagnation. Because if you say, I'll try and fail, you can say, well, I didn't really commit. But if you say, I will and fail, now your pride's on the line. That's why the word try attracts comfort seekers and avoids accountability. It's the linguistic version of tiptoeing through life, hoping to make it safely to death. Here's a story that humbled me. There was a time I kept telling myself, I'll try to wake up early. I'll try to be consistent with content. I'll try to quit procrastinating. And then one day I looked in the mirror and realized I was trying my way into mediocrity. Nothing was changing because I kept negotiating with myself. Try had become my excuse to stay average. That day I made a simple change. I banned the word try from my vocabulary. Instead of saying, I'll try to work out, I said, I'll be in the gym at 6 o'clock. Instead of, I'll try to save money, I said, I'm transferring $100 today. Instead of, I'll try to start the business, I said, I'm launching it this month. And guess what? Everything shifted. Because when you remove try, your brain stops negotiating. It either commits or it doesn't. And that's where real growth begins, in clarity, not comfort. Here's how to apply this in real life. Ban try for 30 days. Every time you're about to say try, stop and replace it with either I will or I won't. Watch how your confidence shifts when your words carry conviction. Stop performing effort. Don't tell people what you're trying to do. Show them what you're doing. Quiet effort is louder than empty try. Accept that failure is part of doing. You'll screw up, you'll fall short. That's okay. At least you'll have real data from real action. Failure from trying is fiction. Failure from doing is education. Build masculine integrity. Your words should mean something. If you say, I'll try, you're subconsciously telling your mind it's optional. But when you say, I will, your brain prepares for war. Let's end this with a deep message. Try is a nice word, but nice doesn't change lives. Try is a cushion. It softens the fall but kills the leap. As a man, you have two choices every day: to try or to train. Trying is dabbling, training is discipline. Trying is dabbling with potential. Training is forging character. Stop trying to be better, be better. Stop trying to start. Stop trying to love. Because no man is remembered for what he tried to do. He's remembered for what he did. So from this day forward, erase try from your vocabulary. Because try is just fear dressed as effort, and you are built for more than half-hearted promises to yourself. Either do it or don't, but for the love of your future self, stop trying, start doing, there you have it. Little words that expose everything about a person's character. Words most people toss around casually, not realizing they're revealing their mindset, their fears, and their values in real time. But here's the truth. It's not just them you need to listen to, it's you. Because every word you speak programs your reality. Every time you say try, later, or always, you're not just describing life. You're designing it. Language is identity, and your words are building or breaking the man you're becoming. If you caught yourself using some of these words today, don't beat yourself up. I've used every single one of them. But the difference between staying stuck and evolving is awareness. Once you see it, you can change it. And that's what this channel is about. Not perfection, but progress. Becoming brutally self-aware, brutally honest, and still managing to laugh through the madness of life. So start paying attention to what you say. Not because it makes you sound smarter, but because it reveals what you truly believe. Fix the language, and you'll fix the mindset. Fix the mindset, and you'll fix your life. If this video hit, do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which word hit you hardest. I read every one of them. Let's make something powerful together. Until next time, speak less, mean more, and remember your words don't just reveal your character, they create it.